As an executive producer, I have a say in who the new host is, and if it works out, I take all the credit, and if it doesn't, it's other people's fault. That's what an EP does. I didn't know Tyra very well, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't know who was going to take over from Nick, and it's difficult to take over someone like that because he was so good. She comes over to where I live with some other people, hadn't really met her properly before, and within about 5 minutes, I think we all felt the same thing, which was she would be perfect for this show. She was very funny, comfortable, honest, told me her mum said to her, "You've got to do the show." I think my mum actually said the same thing to me years ago as well, funny enough. But no, she's great. And within minutes when she was starting, it was like we'd worked together for a long time. You don't know when you do this show. Sometimes, literally, a box is sitting in front of you in the middle of the stage, and you think what's going to come out the box. And we don't know who the contestants are. We know nothing about the day, who's going to be auditioning. So you just, you do it in the moment. Things would still surprise you, and that's probably the most important thing I would guess on this show is originality, things we haven't seen before. But I think, when somebody's got that extra little something. We don't always agree, but when it happens, it happens. And luckily, this show has a very good track record of people trusting the show. If you trust the show, you get better people. I think they like the show for the same reason we like being on the show, is that, like I said, you don't know who's going to come on. It is a show literally with no rules. That was one of the conditions when we made this show, is that literally anyone can enter, any country, any age. And within reason, it doesn't matter what your act is. And that, for me, is a much more fun show to judge. I think it's a much more fun show to watch. And it gives, I think, importantly, everyone an opportunity to enter a show like this and perhaps change their life off the back of it. I come back on these shows because I've been fortunate enough over the years that I've sat behind a desk these shows and on these shows and discovered talented people at the moment when they were discovered. And when that happens, you will never, ever, ever forget that moment. Where you were sitting, what you said before, what that person said, what they sang, performed, or whatever. And it is almost indescribable, that moment when if it wasn't for the show or whatever, this person probably wouldn't be able to do what they're going to do. So if we weren't finding people who went on to be successful, I wouldn't bother doing the shows. I'd go and make a cooking show or something. Actually, no, I wouldn't actually. I'd make a car show. It's like I said, it's one of those indescribable moments. Someone comes in and you feel it, you look over, they're feeling it, the audience are feeling it, then the contestant or contestants feel it. There are going to be many, many moments this year which you're going to see, which are some of the stories. I could not make these stories up. I couldn't. And I'm telling them to my friends about this person who came on and what had happened through their lives and what they're now doing. It's quite incredible. And that's what this show attracts. It has to be fun. And it has to be worthwhile. And without sounding corny, knowing that you can change people's lives in 3 minutes, that's intoxicating. I'm going to be honest with you. It's a very, very special feeling. But the fun part's also important as well, because look, if you go on the news right now, it's not great. You go and watch America's Got Talent, you're going to have a great time for 2 hours.